Skull is a tabletop game for 3 to 6 players, and each game runs 15 to 45 minutes long. Each player receives 4 discs that look identical from the back, and a playmat to match their color. On the front side of the discs, 3 of them will have flowers, but 1 will be a skull in each color. To begin the game, each player picks one of their discs to place on top of their mat. Only they know whether they put a flower or a skull there. Now it's player 1's turn. They have the option to either place a second disc on their mat or not place a second disc, and instead make a bid as to how many flowers they think are placed on all 3 of the mats. So let's say that player 1 and player 2 both decided to place an extra disc onto their mats. Now it's player 3's turn, and they decide to make a bid that 1 flower is on the mats. It's a safe bid because they know that they themselves placed a flower, so they can't lose. Now that a bid has been made, no more discs can be placed on mats. It will go back to player 1, and they have the option to either bid a higher number than player 3 bid, or to pass. So in this case, let's say that player 1 says 2. Now it's player 2's turn. They can either say 3, 4, or 5, or they can pass. They can't bid more than 5 because there's only 5 discs on the mats altogether. Let's say player 2 passes, and then player 3 bids 3. Now it's back to player 1, they pass, player 2 passes, so it's back to player 3, and now they have to show what they have on their mat, and then pick 2 more discs without hitting a skull. Player 3 flips over their disc and reveals a flower, which they knew, of course, because that's why they made such a high bid. Now they have to pick either player 1 or player 2 to flip over their top disc, and in this case, he chooses player 1, they flip over their top disc, and it's a flower. Now we're up to 2 flowers, but don't forget, the bid was 3, so they have to either choose for player 1 to flip over their other disc, or ask player 2 to flip over their top disc. Player 3 asks player 1 to flip over their second disc. It's another flower, and therefore player 3 wins this round because there were 3 flowers and they didn't hit any skulls. The discs are reset, and player 3 flips over their mat to reveal the flower side, indicating that they won at least 1 round so far. So let's say in round 2 we got to 3 discs out for player 1 and player 2. Player 3 had 2 discs, and they decided to make a bid. Let's say the bids got up to 4. Player 3 now has to flip over their first 2. They have to show both of their discs before they can ask somebody else to show any of theirs. Player 3 flips over their 2 flowers, and now they have to find 2 more flowers before finding a skull. Let's say they ask player 2 to flip over their top disc first. When they do, it turns out to be a skull. Therefore, player 3 loses this round because they were not able to reveal 4 flowers before revealing a skull. Player 3 will have to randomly discard one of their 4 discs and place it off to the side. Now they only get to play with 3 discs. The game is won when either one player wins 2 rounds, or if there's only one player left with discs in the game. And that's how to play Skull.